I'm coming over in the wrong direction. I only wanna be the center of your attention, but long enough to show you I'm worth the trouble that you take. I wanna see the way that you portray a boy's gonna try to change his life today. See the way that you portray a boy who maybe doesn't have too much to say, and you can draw your own conclusions, but you'll find I'm not a fake. You can turn away from me, but there's nothing that'll keep me here, you know. And you'll never be the city guy anymore that I'll be hosting the Scooby Show. Confounded by you. Now I'm still a boy, I am indebted to you. Every song I ever wrote was written for you, written for you. Now I'm feeling flat, you seem a mile away. I'm so tired that down on the pavement I'll lay, till the blossom of the tree comes falling on me, fall on me. From my window I can see the mountain and snow. From my window I will shut my eyes and let go. Promise me you'll always be around when I fall and when I call. Up on the wall looking down on the river bridge, to me a vision was shown. If I could hold on to things till I was full grown, peace would I know. To my dog on wheels I'll tell my visions and woes. To my dog on wheels I'll tell my secrets and more. Then one day in spring I'll take him down to the road, anything goes. La da da, la la la, la 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 la. La da da, la la la, la 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 la. La la la, la la la, la 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 la. We got together about a year ago to record a record for a Glasgow college called Stowe College. And it's funny because it seems to have been fated by various different things, and it's I can't decide who gave a tape to who, and it all seems to have been a devious plan by our drummer Richard, because he heard a tape and he was at the college and he ended up being the drummer in the band, and my flatmate I still can't figure out how it happened. Every time there was a song on the radio, it got you in the same way. And I can remember writing to somebody afterwards and saying, well, you know, I know it's your job, but thanks for playing that anyway, because it's quite possibly the best moment of my life, which doesn't say much about my life up to this point. 1995, it's just a kind of sunny wilderness. I can remember it was boiling hot for about 4 months solid, but I spent it in pretty much a windowless, airless concrete box, looking at the wall with a pair of headphones on, dreaming about the outside world. So maybe that's what inspired certain songs to come along.
I'm Isabel and I play lots of different instruments. It just depends what suits the songs. When we were asked to pick something we like best to show people for the television, I couldn't think of much. Everything I like best happens when I don't expect it. When I plan things, I get disappointed. It all got very confusing and complicated for a while, but then Stuart David explained. He said this part was to be like, why don't you? So, this is why I'm shuffling around the Victoria Park with my dog Aldo. He used to be a guide dog for the blind. He worked in the city and was no stranger to the London Underground. Now he stays at home most days, dreaming up fantasy dinners while he waits for my brother to finish school. This is where I bring him on days when there's nothing to be done, and in the summer I bring my diary. Sometimes we feed the ducks, but mostly we just throw sticks.
My name's Chris. I play piano and organ in the band Belle Sebastian, and I wanted to take you to Celtic Park because I've always supported Celtic, and it's a place I like going along to the games. Last year I was doing kitchen work and stuff for this agency, and one of the jobs I was doing was just working in the food bits at Parkhead, selling the pies. When you're there watching a game, you're up at the top and you can look down over the pitch, and it's strange because you're quite disconnected from it. It's like watching a game of Subbuteo or something, but at the same time you're dead involved in it as well. The first gig we done as Belle Sebastian was through in Edinburgh, and it was a bit of a shambles. It was the first time I'd met the people from Jeepster Records as well. I just remember they seemed totally insane at the time. I'd only just joined the band at that point. On the songs I didn't play on, I'd sort of get up and just got to sit down somewhere. The woman from Jeepster was going, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get back on that stage. And I'm like, I'm not playing on this song, you know, just leave me alone.
I'm on buses quite a lot. I just really wanted to maybe get into the cockpit or something. Whether it be in the bus depot or where the buses go to sleep at night, just really somewhere to be as close to the buses as possible and to get behind the scenes rather than being a punter. Recently I've moved up the social ladder because I got a zone card instead of a bus pass, which gets me on the tube as well, so that's a nice wee change. But you always get drawn back to the buses. Obviously when you become an experienced city traveller like myself, you know which ones are smelly, you know which ones are cold. You pretty much know the friendly drivers, and so as long as you're not actually going anywhere specific, then you can choose your vehicle carefully.
My name is Richard Coburn. I play drums. The reason I wanted to be filmed cooking was that I'm the most fussiest eater on earth, and I like about 5 things. It's pasta and chicken soup surprise, the surprise being it's not very good at all. And I thought I'd throw in a side order of rolls with bran flakes. Myself and Stuart, we live in a church hall, which is quite a bizarre place to live. It's actually a flat above the church hall, and we're actually the caretakers in a kind of way, where we have to look after the hall and make sure the running is good, and we have to put tables and chairs out for coffee mornings and keep the doors open for any clubs that are coming in. It's quite an unusual place to live, but I suppose the landlord must be God.
I used to have a camera called a Zenith, but I gave that to wee Karen, and she used it to take photographs of pavements for a while. But when I went to get the camera back, she said there was a bit of dirt in the lens. To make up for it, she gave me a really good pen she had, a space pen. The instructions said it was the most advanced writing instrument in the world, and it was designed for astronauts to use on their way to the moon. You can write upside down, over grease and fingerprints and blazing heat, and even underwater. So I took that. I wasn't planning on going to the moon, but I thought maybe I could sell it to buy a new camera. But it didn't turn out to be worth much, so in the end I decided what I would do is I would just take photographs with the pen instead. I would just write the picture down, and it turned out quite well. The first good thing is no one really knows when I'm doing it. I can watch people doing things and they just stay natural because there's no camera pointing at them, and they don't know I'm taking their picture. And that makes the pictures better because I see people doing the craziest things.
I'm Sarah Martin. I play violin and a couple of other things. I joined the band through friends of friends, just in time for the second album to be recorded. I was going to climb a tree for my little sketch, but I just thought, well, the weather's not really particularly great for it. I'd probably fall out. And I recently moved into a new flat, and I've been putting up a lot of shelves because I've got loads of stuff, and I've just got to get it off the floor. And it's become a kind of hobby. I can't stop. We decided to do a gig in the Mitchell Library as part of the Mayfest in Glasgow. We ended up bringing another stage in, which even wasn't big enough for the whole band. We had the band on 2 separate stages. It was quite a strange gig, slideshows and tables and chairs, and everybody's parents were there. It was a kind of funny concert, but it was really good fun.
From town to town, mission impossible. You gotta spy for every place you ride. Feeling awkward, feeling tongue-tied. You got a knife for every time you take the same train into work. Family's like a loaded gun, pointed in the wrong direction. Someone's gonna get killed. If you had such a dream, would you get up and do the things you believe in? See your husband, just your boyfriend. See the moron who's been and keeping you inside. I've never done this kind of thing, but if I kill him now, well, who's gonna miss him? I went up to the school, I took a walk up Castle Hill. For every step there was a local boy who wants to be a hero. Do you wanna do it now? Outside the butchers with a knife on a bike chain. La la la, yeah, 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 yeah. If you had such a dream, would you get up and do the things you believe in?
You get a little tickle in your tummy and then you start to write something down, and then it's... to tell you the truth, I can't remember writing any of the songs, really. So that's quite lucky in a way. because I do quite like some of them. Well, we better go.
There are people going hungry, far away. They got nothing on their face, and you're filling your fat face with every different kind of cake. If you ever go loudy or go lame, I will drop you straight away. Well, that's a chance you're gonna take for every stupid thing you say. There are people going lonely and will stay only far into the year, 'cause you make him blink as fashionable, and fashionably you'll say all is equal in love and war. And I'm sorry, but I got some things to do. And you pretend to read a book you'll never finish till the day that the author dedicates it to a century of fakers. They took your mold and they burned it on the fire in history today. Yeah, the author dedicates it to a century of fakers. He was an anarchist, he tried his best but it wasn't good enough. La-da-da-da-da. Over the other side of the city, and if the truth be known, I'd say that you look great from there before you shaved your golden hair today. Everybody's trying to make us another century of fakers. They took the mold and they burned it on the fire in history today. Everybody's trying to another cool decade of fakers.
think it's good. I think it's probably had an effect that we're far from London, which is, you know, traditionally the, you know, where you go to be a musician or where you go to make it in the pop world. And I think it's been good that we've not been part of that, because maybe that makes us distinctive. Because we've not been. I think there's a tendency for things to get gobbled up in this big thing that is London. You know, they get. There's an expression. It's called Londoned up. People, you know, people start off in bands. They go to London and they come back and they're Londoned up. You can just see it. You know.
Well, it's true, I can't sing in any conventional sense of the word. Oh.
Lisa's kissing men like a long walk home when the music stops. Take a tip from me. Took her to the park when you're on your own. It's a long walk home. Well, if they follow you, don't look back. Like Dylan in the movies, on your own. If they follow you, it's not your money that they're after, boy, it's you. Pure easy listening, settle down on the pillow soft. When they've all gone home, you can concentrate on the ones you love. You can concentrate, hey, now they've gone. But if they follow you, don't look back. Like Dylan in the movie, on your own. If they follow you, it's not your money that they're after, boy, it's you. I would do the same if we all went back to another time. I will love you over. I will love you over. I will love you. If they follow you, don't look back. Like Dylan in the movies, on your own. Follow you, tenderly you turn the light on in your room.
Great. Fantastical.
Putting a poster up, dreaming of anything, dreaming of the time when you are free from all the trouble you're in. In the mud, on your knees, trying hard not to please anyone all the time. Being a rebel's fine, you go all the way to being brutal. You will have a boy tonight. You will have a boy tonight. On the first bus out of town. On the first bus out of town.
So let's see you kick the games. All the girls look the same. You would challenge your styles. To the business world, you know a girl who's tax-free on their bank and making plenty cash. You are working for the joy of giving. You'll have a boy tonight. You'll have a boy tonight on the last bus out of town. On the last bus out of town. You have a boy tonight. You have a girl tonight, and you hope that they will stay. And the hope that they will stay. Tossing a coin to decide whether you should tell your folks about a dose of thrush you got when licking railings. But you read in a book that you got free in boots. There are lotions, there are potions you can take to hide your shame from all those prying eyes. Lazy Jane all the time, painting lines. You were sleeping at bus stops, wondering how you got your name and what you're gonna do about it. You will have a boy tonight. You will have a boy tonight on the last bus out of town. On the last
we maybe don't kind of have a terribly high production rate. But then you hear about Seal making his third album.
I think you
now.
guys do.
I think in terms of getting records out, we still do. I mean, it's maybe not. Don't know. I think it would be cool to still be banging out an album every year and a few singles and stuff as well, because I kind of would. I kind of would enjoy being able to be a bit more casual about music and doing it like that. But even so, I'd say it's still better than only getting to do an album every like 3 or 4 or 5 years or something.
Choices facing you, a healthy dose of pain. The choices facing you as you stare through the rain. The choices facing you, but I choose to refrain. For today, tomorrow we'll be back in trouble again. Dream on you had a whole lot of fun with a comedian. You stopped short of going all the way. You'll have to make it someday. Why is this happening to you? You're not a child. Why is this happening? You too much on your mind. Things creep up on you when you are fast asleep. You are dreaming, you are sleeping, you are stuck to the sheet.
The town's so small, there's no escaping you. In a town so small, there's no escape from you. In a town so small, there's nothing left to do.
Dreamed till you couldn't see her face, but you saw everything else. Dreamed it was pretty special beings, you leave peace loving yourself. Could you put a name to someone else's life? Could you put a face to someone else's life? Was it someone that you maybe recognize? But it all fits in watch the cricket, and they never watch for weeks. In the suburbs, young protesters ride.
Is it wicked not to care when they say that you're mistaken, thinking hopes is lots of dreams that aren't there? Is it wicked not to care when you've wasted many hours talking endlessly to anyone that's there? I know the truth awaits me, but still I hesitate because of fear. Skipping tickets, making rhymes, is that all that you believe in? Wearing rags to make you pretty by design, rusting armor for effect. It's not fun to watch the rust grow, for it will all be over when you're dead. Counting acts and clutching thoughts by the river where the moss grows over, rocks the water running all the time. Is it wicked when you smile, even though you feel like crying, even though you could be sick at any time? But if there was a sequel, would you love me as an equal? Would you love me till I'm dead? But if there was a sequel, would you love me like an equal? Would you love me till I'm dead? And if there was a sequel, would you love me as an equal? Would you love me till I'm dead? Or is there someone else instead?
The trouble we had, I think I better make a night. I think I better make a night. I think I better make a night. I think I better
I think sometimes people see the band as being a little bit up their own arse. But there's other people as well that kind of see us as a bit mysterious and stuff, and we've actually done quite a lot of interviews. They personally I do quite a lot.
And yeah, the record company have said that they can't see it going past the number of people that buy the records just now without us doing a lot more promotion, and I think that might be, it won't go beyond the numbers just because the type of band it is.
we've hit our peak, you know, as far as like record sales go and stuff like that, you know. And
how do you know that?
Because we just have.
I think we've not fulfilled our potential quite yet, but I've no idea when that could be because it's quite erratic.
Past, I kind of got it from Lazy Lion, Paper Jane, and there's a new song called The Model, which I get it from when you can really feel a buzz from something, you know, it's good. I think because we're becoming more experienced, hopefully there'll be it'll happen less by accident and a bit more by design.
Every time you play something or every time you think about how you want a record to sound, you've got your record collection looking over your shoulder at you.
There was a feeling against tunes. You know, there was definitely a feeling against songs and melodies and all that sort of stuff. And it made you want to actually make the most tuneful sort of, you just explode, you know, and if you could find people to play with that would make the most tuneful, lush sounding records imaginable.
So embarrassed that I missed your party. It was me that paid for it eventually. Cause you know how much I wanted to make you funny story.
You could almost use them as some sort of
Kosh.
I was going to say some sort of piece of furniture.
You're really posh.
What fucking piece of furniture?
A table! A fucking table! Just put the two of them.
Easy big lad.
You should be on that home show thing.
I think maybe you need a break, son. Yeah, easy big tiger. My sister says IKEA's going to have a big sale on some drive down to Newcastle. It's like better than
I was just thinking, let's hire a van.
Talks about IKEA.
Yeah,
Let's hire a van and
amazing.
drive down to Newcastle and come back with furniture for everyone.
Furniture all round. Hey.
Oh God! I can't believe you just filmed me saying that.
What did you say? We've been on this kind of trail, on this little Boy Scout trail, to try and find the perfect sound or the perfect acoustic or the perfect way of working, and there certainly is no perfect way of working. We've made some pretty messy records, but we've made some alright sounds as well.
I mean, I've not actually been at a full church hall recording session. The quality of the recordings that have been done there definitely have a certain feel. It certainly adds a lot to it. I think Lazy Lion Painted Jane sounds great, you know, recorded in the church hall.
What sort of people do you think you appeal to?
Always.
30-somethings. Currently we appeal to 50-somethings in a little record shop. Sort of joined into a music and instrument shop in Blackburn.
I've come across so many people over 30 that like us, you know.
Yeah.
And even at gigs I notice a lot of them, you know, so I don't really think we're a total teenage bullwhite group.
It's not like Boyzone or something. There's a lot of kind of, I don't know, 30-something or even people a lot older, and there's like quite young people, like kids at school, I think quite like it, and then there's some quite strange people that quite like it. There's students that like it, and I think there's like sort of, someone said that at one of the gigs at Shepherd's Bush there was quite a few like businessmen.
Yeah, it does quite often seem to be people that are quite alone or feel isolated from sort of mainstream. Our nieces and nephews that are just about 5 or 6, they put it on to dance around to as well.
Glasgow band Belle Sebastian. They picked up the award for Best British Newcomers, but they were so sure they wouldn't win, only 2 of them bothered to make the trip to the ceremony.
I had strict instructions to get in, autographs from various people from my friends, and that's basically the whole idea for us coming down.
In Glasgow, it was business as usual for the other 6 who preferred to stay home and get on with mixing their 4th album than rub shoulders with the Glitterati in London. They did, however, manage to take time out to watch their success being broadcast on Lunchtime Scotland Today.
I think they'll be a lot more, I don't know, animated or something than probably most of us would have been. But, and my mum would have killed me as well for not wearing a dress on telly or something.
I'm glad that the 2 of them went. It was only when I found out that Richard was sat at a table next to Muhammad Ali that I really wished I'd went.
What's a normal day like for you whenever you're not recording or as a rock star? Do you consider yourself a rock star?
Walking these streets so long, singing the same old song. I know we'll be cracking these dirty sidewalks of Broadway, where hustle's the name of the game, and nice guys get washed away like the snow and the rain. There'll be a load of compromises on the road to my horizon, but I'm gonna be where
His love, hate, affair with his racist clientele. I see it. The centrifugation in you is a must as you stagger about, making free what you lived in the city is born. We've all seen you dancing, we all in your heart, cause we've all seen you drinking from noon until noon again. You're the boy with the filthy hand. You're the boy with the iron strand. Calm celebrity takes a backseat, the cigarette catches, sets off the smoke alarm. What do you think of the sound of the Foo Fighters floating across the cold pitch on a summer's day? Well, it's not quite summer, but it seems like summer to us.